and I'm the instructor teaching 811B response to intervention that focuses on reading instruction because that's where response to intervention is right now. There's some efforts around math and in some areas, some other things, but really the focus has been reading primarily and then a focus on math. And I'd like to talk about a few things for this class just to serve as a partial introduction. The first thing is that this class is really designed in modules and they're designed to work in sequence on purpose. You're supposed to finish one module before you start the next one, so I would like you to really abide by that. And the idea is to take your time, process, and explore, and not just jump quickly into the next thing. I know some want to finish early or a lot earlier. I've had some students who try to finish everything as fast as possible, trying to finish it in a week, and I don't think that that's a good idea, even if it is possible. And the notion here is that you need to let things sit for a while, process them, and then move forward. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing that I wanted to say is actually about response to intervention itself, and that is that the materials I use in this and the concepts that I use is one view of response to intervention. There's a strong sense that as response to intervention is implemented in different schools and different systems with different visions, it plays out a little bit differently, and there have been newly developed ways to understand response for intervention. So originally, and the way I teach it, for example, just as an example, it's not the only way to think about it, but the third tier of response to intervention was originally presented as really what happens in special education, and that has been slowly transforming into another layer of intervention, going back to more traditional ways of identifying students for special education. So what we really have, instead of the way response to intervention was originally conceived in the papers that were published in the mid-90s and on, as a system that operates in a new way and replaces the way we work in special education today, what has really happened is a merging of the two systems to use response to intervention as a first line of defense or second line of defense, and then in many ways, in many places, special education still functions the way it used to, and it has not fully adapted it. There's also the way it played out in schools, which really changed the way it was perceived because the original ideas were very strong, but they're not always finding the way into fruition in schools for a variety of reasons. So while you're reading this and you're talking to people and you're thinking about your school, or if you don't have a school, and that's a point coming up, if you don't have a school you're working with, if you can find a colleague or somebody you know that works in a school that has response to intervention, that's probably your best choice. If not, we can provide some data, and I actually have some contacts with teachers who are working in response to intervention schools and would be happy to be your contact and help you along to conceptualize this. Next, I'd like to talk about the fact that part of this class is having quality discussions about the topics of the day, and the discussion is really important part because it replaces that kind of interaction within the classroom. So please do a thorough job in addressing each other and addressing the topics so we can learn from each other and from the interaction, and not just from the text and the video, although I do love the videos. Last, if you want to contact me, the best way to contact me is by email, but if you feel that you're not getting a response and you need to talk to me further, you can contact me by phone. My cell phone number is 402-417-5870, and as long as the time is reasonable and it's not during the main hours of the day, because I teach a face-to-face class on East Campus as well, after 3 o'clock, I'm usually available. Give me a call, and on Fridays, if there are any special concern, you can give me a call. Email is better. And I will be, once every few days, I will be sending one of these movies or a link to one of these movies. So please stay tuned, as they say, and I'll try to summarize and contextualize some of the information as we move through. So I hope you will hang around, and I look forward to reading your comments on the discussion board.